All right, we're back with episode 3 of the Can I Sit Here podcast. Episode 3, guys, I feel like I want to celebrate every episode because
we survived. We lived to see another day.
And we're learning a lot as we
We
go,
are.
I have to say, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm
What's
happy to
funny
be back here
how
with you
much
guys.
recording we've done. It feels like episode 10 in a good way because it's just like there's so much going into like just the process of recording everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, how was your guys' weekends? Did you guys...
Yeah, it's
since
been a
I
couple
last
of
saw
weeks
you.
actually.
Or,
It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I've had a great time.
Went to Maine?
It's been a busy couple of weeks. I went to Maine to visit my best friend who is in Bar Harbor for the summer, and she's a gorgeous house there, and it was beautiful weather, and we went paddleboarding, and we hiked, and we ate a lot, which was delightful.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sort of the beginning of like a crazy month of running around. So it's been, kind of come back, work a lot. I'm heading to Maryland today. Like
You travel a lot.
I do get,
You
yeah.
do.
Every time I walk out of my building, because the front desk people are just like, "Where are you going now?" I'm like, sometimes it's Maryland, sometimes it's, I don't know, Argentina. So it just, it varies, and you never know.
Yeah.
So it's no, but all is well. I mean, it's just been busy. I actually had a day yesterday where I didn't have anything like work related, and it was really just kind of an errands and do things. I got to walk around the city a little bit, which was really nice.
The
it was
weather
a
was
gorgeous
amazing.
day.
Yeah.
So it was really nice, and I need more of those days, I think. But yeah, it was a great week, a great couple of weeks.
Nice.
How about you?
Pretty good. We, me and my wife are fostering a dog. So we've been actually fostering a couple before. Like, this is our third dog that we've had. So, and this dog is like literally like, I don't know, like this big, 16 pounds. And she's literally like, I can't explain it. She's very fiery, but also like goes from like 0 to 100 really quickly. Where
How old is she?
so the shelter thinks she's probably like 6 months ish old.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
she
so
feels
she
even
is young.
younger, honestly. She's just very like, oh, okay, that's how you do that? Okay, thank you for letting me... Like, everything's very new. And
I'm
she's...
learning how to be a dog.
Yeah, and she's a big lap dog, too, which is great. Which is, when people say that, it's like, oh, okay, but literally it's like, every activity is like, oh, you're eating? I need to be in your lap. Oh, you're watching that? Well, I need to...
I get that.
And not sit next to you, like, I need to be on top.
I have to be on you.
Yep.
Yes, I
Yep.
had a dog like that, Velcro dog.
Yes,
my goodness.
she is very much a Velcro dog.
Yeah, she's
And
like, I'm not happy, and I'm not leaving you alone until they're in your lap. Yeah.
Well, what's funny, I have a cat who's really sneaky at like, he just is so quiet, so you have to watch where you're stepping.
Yeah.
Because everywhere's like, oh, same thing with this dog. So now I'm just so used to like, I like drag my feet now. You don't like, because every time I'm about to like walk over
He's
her
under.
and fall every time. Yeah. So I have to be more like slow around the apartment, especially at night. It's like, oh, they're so tiny. Both of them are so tiny.
Are they crated?
We tried
In the
that.
evening?
So it's so funny.
We
we had actually both dogs. I think we were able to crate. No, that's not true. Only one of the dogs we had we were able to crate. The other ones, it's like we only had it for just a short period of time. We're like, what am I going to teach you in a day and a half? Or
Yeah,
2 days?
yeah.
This
okay.
dog also is like, we're doing better at training them during the day, being like, okay, here's some snacks in the crate, here's some. But for the most part, once it gets to nighttime, it's like, I don't know if this is when we should test this
Party
because they're
time.
like screamers,
Okay.
like in like a little dog way.
Yeah.
Like when they bark, it's like high pitched and like
Yes.
it's
yes.
and it's
It actually almost sounds like a baby crying.
Yes.
If
Oh,
you
yeah.
ever
Oh,
noticed.
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So part of that was like, all right, I'll be nice to my neighbor and not have that be an experiment at
sweet of
night.
you.
But she's getting better at being alone. Like now she can like kind of sit next to you, and then she also can sit on the couch across the like. So all those things
She's
are kind of
feeling
getting
more
better.
secure.
Yeah. So
What's her name?
We don't have a name yet. The name they gave.
Her name is Dog.
The name they gave her was Butchie.
Butchie?
So we knew we
Wow.
had to change it, but we still have not landed on a name. And it's been like, you'd think it'd be like, we'll just call it like whatever. But we've been, it's an extensive process. We've been trying to figure out this
Well,
name.
I get that.
And it's like, I never had this before.
Well, you're also fostering. You're not. Are you fostering
That's true.
to adopt? Or are
So
you
that
going
was
to...
part of the process is like, we're helping out the shelter, but we're also like, this is a great way to learn what dog we want too.
Oh,
It's like, might as
that's
well do
very
that.
True.
Good research.
And if it's like,
Actually
even
smart.
because
Yeah.
we've had moments where we're like, oh, we love this dog, but like we have time to be like, let's make sure like everything that we haven't thought of is thought through.
Yeah.
That's a great idea as I sit here and keep threatening to get another dog, which it's been 2 years since I last had a dog. And I just, so hearing that, it's a very smart move to foster and kind
I would
of try
agree.
it out a little bit.
No, I fully recommend it. It's been a great process, and again, it's like it alleviates that stress of like, I never want to feel like I'm not the right fit for the dog, but I'm stuck with them.
Yeah.
You know, and I want
Happens.
everyone to be good in the situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
that's great. So you had a lot of dog time this last couple.
That's been my week. Yeah, dog
Awesome.
stuff. Yeah.
Diana.
How about you? Yeah.
What have I been doing in the last 2 weeks? I mean, I feel like it's summer. I've got 2 littles, so trying to be outside with them for as much as I possibly can. Trying to make sure that they are eating all of the protein that they don't want to eat. I was telling Sharon this morning when I came in that like my entire ride down here, I was going in my head like, what do I need to do when I get home? Because I like meal prep for my family, I meal prep for my kids, like all their fruits cut up, slices of apples and all the things, so that when Monday through Friday rolls around, I'm not like stuck hours, in the kitchen trying to, one of the things that it's really bothering me is the fact that my children do not eat enough protein, and that's
got to be common, right?
It is common. It is common, but there are picky eaters, and then there are picky eaters. Like my daughter will not eat. That's a lie. She'll eat like a hot dog, or she'll eat like a pepperoni, and she's eating all the proteins that I don't want her to eat. But at the same time, you need to eat protein. So I'm like, okay, I guess we're gonna have another hot dog today. Yeah. But I hate
the hot dog. Yeah, I get that. I feel like that's the kid thing, is the chicken nugget, the hot dog.
The chicken nugget, and I do like I have made like homemade chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
I will make homemade meatballs. I will make all these homemade things, and my precious son is so wonderful about being like, Mommy, this is so good. And my daughter's like, this is disgusting.
McDonald's does it better. The chefs at McDonald's are so much.
Let me ask you this. If it's just a matter of like getting protein in them, like would you consider doing like a protein shake, like a ready-made type of thing? Has she tried
those? That's a good question. She would not try it.
Really? It's like a milkshake.
Yeah, no, that's not her thing. She doesn't.
Is she seeing the process and she's like, "What are you putting in?"
No, I mean, I'm making her a milkshake and being like, "Look at this delicious ice cream and milk, and you can add, strawberries and stuff." The moment it goes into the blender and she sees it all get chopped up into liquid, she's like, "Why is this liquid?"
That's normal.
Okay, then
why am I not just eating the ice cream?
And we are dealing with it.
Girl,
we are dealing with a pro.
Just eating the ice cream?
Right.
So
why are we going through this?
Why make it so hard?
These are the things that like I think about constantly. So anyway, when I leave here, I'm going to be making some protein muffins for my kids.
I like that.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway,
so food has been on the brain.
Yeah.
Food's been on the brain.
Okay.
Food is always on my brain, though.
Well,
I
mean, you're only human.
Yeah.
I get it.
But other than that, I had a nice weekend. Went to go catch up with friends that I hadn't seen in literally over a year yesterday.
Oh, awesome.
Is this the same friends from the chat, or is this a different
This is
group?
not the same friends from the chat.
Okay.
Oh, the Key West chat.
The Key West chat. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think
the podcast happened.
Yeah.
Key West is
they're
not
gonna listen to this podcast and text me and be like, "We're going on this shit.
I feel like that should be its own thing. Like I would watch a whole podcast about the drama of what's happening here.
Right.
But
It's not that interesting.
If that's the end result, fantastic.
You like got me to Key West.
Podcast. Yeah. Right, podcast and Key West.
But no, so I met with a couple of friends. They live actually up in Westchester area.
Okay.
And that was really nice. And me and 2 of the friends that I was talking to actually were trying to make plans to go see the Odyssey with all the extra time that I have in my life.
Right.
What's it, like a 2-hour movie or
I was
something?
going to say it can't be
close to 3.
I was going to say
it's 3 hours?
It's an epic.
Yeah, it's literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
So.
Literally, like I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
3 hours is a long time.
It will. I know people all say this. It will feel short. It doesn't feel like 3 hours to me.
Okay.
Wait, you saw it?
But it is about 3 hours. Yeah, I saw it twice.
So, did you watch this twice in one day?
No.
2 days? How did you break up 6 hours?
Yeah.
And also, didn't it just come out? Like,
yeah.
Okay. Oh,
so everyone's trying to see it in IMAX. Okay. So when I first saw it, I'm like, I'd rather just see it because no matter what I do, I will find spoilers, whether I want them or not.
This is true.
So, and also, you just want to see it. So I saw it originally just in regular theaters. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'll wait for IMAX. When it comes out, it comes out. And then I got 2 tickets. My dad and I went, and I'm like, well, we got these 2 tickets available. It's like,
awesome.
But it was like a 10 p.m. screening, so it was like late. It was, oh my God, 2 days ago. Yeah. Okay. So I saw it again, and I don't know, just like it's a big difference, I will say, in IMAX.
And better?
I believe that.
Better. Okay, I believe it. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Because I think it's not just an immersion thing. It's like when people say that's the way they intended it to be, like this is one of the rare films where it's like, no, literally, like everything was shot in IMAX. Everything was shot with that format in mind.
Yeah.
The acting choices are around that format, and the framing and everything was based around it. So I get it.
Were there a lot of people?
Yeah, it was like sold out
It was sold out.
at 10
It's
p.m.
like one of the
on like
biggest
yeah.
releases
Yeah.
in a long
Absolutely,
time. Actually,
absolutely. And we
right?
talked about it a little
Yes.
bit.
Yeah.
On the topic of dystopian fiction.
Yeah.
Tell me about BARREN.
Let's talk BARREN.
Yes, so let's talk about that a bit. So I want to talk a little bit about how that connects, because I know we've talked about our books, but specifically along the line of thinking of how did I get to this world? How did I get to this book? I feel like there's a lot of influences that kind of led me here, and they're not just book related or film related. It's just, COVID happened, right? So we're all kind of locked away. If you're an artist, especially anyone who's like making films or out there, like you're kind of stuck, right? So what can you do is I can write a screenplay. I can, work on stories. So I did that for a bit. I had a full screenplay ready.
Really?
Pre-COVID?
Yeah. Well, no, COVID helped me finish it.
Okay.
And going into it, I was like, that's what I'm dedicating my time to, is like wrapping this up, finishing
A
this.
screenplay. I'm so sorry. A
Yeah.
screenplay of BARREN.
No, it's a completely different story.
Completely different story. 'Cause
Yes.
that was one thing I was curious about.
Yes.
Like, is what else you got?
So I wrote a
Okay.
screenplay. It was like sort of autobiographical a little bit. I found that you kind of figure out your skills in your wheelhouse, and I found that making it too literal, making it feel too connected to like a story of mine, I just didn't feel like it was authentic. I felt like the way I needed to tell the story was a little bit more imaginative and metaphorical, and sometimes going back to the Odyssey, sometimes when you have these grander imaginative themes, it's actually a little easier to digest those complicated things that we deal with and whatnot. So
Right.
yeah, I ended up changing it to more of a book, one, because the path to getting it made into a movie, which was the initial, I felt like the book path was easier for me because I could finish it completely and have something that I could walk around and pitch and talk about, and it could live on its own. Versus the screenplay very much would have to go through the process of like networking and like
Sure.
it's a very different process to get
Yeah.
a movie made versus, if the book is made, which is its own process,
Yep.
at least now it's out there in the world. People know
Right.
the story. Somebody could be like, I would pick it up. Like you have these more, I feel like I had more avenues, especially
Absolutely.
knowing that I would be spending my whole time inside for a while. So
Right.
that's where it started.
So when it started,
Yeah.
did you start with your character or
Yeah.
your what came first, the world or the character? And then
Yeah.
so answer that one for me.
I mean, for me, so at the time, I was one of those people that hadn't caught up to Game of Thrones. I had not finished it. And so I was
You
really...
of all people,
know.
I would think you were first in line. That's
Well, I
surprising
watch-
to me,
honestly,
actually.
most of the shows and movies, not movies, shows I watch are based on people who are like, I cannot believe you haven't watched that. And I'm like, fine, I will watch it.
Okay.
So I can get it out of the way and be
Yeah.
like, that's in my brain now. And I really loved it. It was really good.
Yeah, it's
but
great.
Of course.
I found watching it, it was a part of me that unlocked like, okay, that's the path structurally I want to go. I loved how complicated the character development was, how everything was super messy, and they were okay with getting things really messy and not worried about a linear morality system of like, here are your heroes, here are your good guys, like here are the people to
Yeah.
root for, and like
People are complicated.
and I found
People
like
are
nobody was
complicated.
painted right by the
Yeah.
end, and I found that the big thing I liked about it is they built out everyone's world and then they destroyed it and then they rebuilt it again. So it wasn't like you had like, here's this family we built, here's the bad guys, let's see how they fight. It's like people go off in this direction, and they meet someone else. They're now enemies of these people, and now you have a whole different dynamic with every character by season 3, 4, or 5. So I found that fascinating, and I liked the pairing off where you take characters that don't go together or don't normally you wouldn't think interact, and now they're a whole thing. That's a whole dynamic. So that kind of inspired me to like lay the groundwork for what BARREN was going to be, which is nothing like that now, in a sense.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, so I still have a lot of characters, and a lot of that structure is kind of there in the like people start here and they end up with different people, but it became more sci-fi, it became more intimate and about wandering and being lonely, like stuff that just wasn't necessarily the Game of Thrones themes, but that was kind of my jumping point to start with that. And the world building honestly didn't exist until I started writing. Like I had to just go, chapter 1, what am I even, just let's go, like free write almost. And once I did that, the structure I had to set was great because it kind of gave me guardrails a little bit. But then I felt like, well, now you have guardrails, I can do whatever I want because I know I'll be safe. I know I won't go too far outside the lines. So then I just was free writing essentially a story.
So in terms of you mentioned like with Game of Thrones, there's so many different characters, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of characters and then sort of let ones fall off? Or did you
Yeah.
start with a couple and then expand the world?
I expanded it in more than I thought I would because I did start with a lot. But I think it's more that I abandoned some of the concepts to make it simpler story-wise, which that even when I had more characters, it still was simpler than what I had before. And so it was still something that was easy to, really digest. But yeah, I mean, mainly, like Jin and Jan, like those main core characters, like that was just me writing chapter 1 and just being like, what are names, just throwing names out there. And like literally I just came up with those names and went, yeah, that works. And then it's funny, the more you write the story, if you're comfortable with the names.
Yep,
Yeah.
Because
it's
I
true. I
feel
had to
like-
change names too.
Because then you start going, why? Oh, every time I say that, I'm like, ugh. But
Yeah.
then sometimes you're like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
and then they just become part of your vernacular, right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
And just like feeling the character come to life, anyone who's written, it's like the greatest feeling ever to be like, oh my God, like I feel like I have to ask this person, what would you do? Because now they've become a character. They're not
Yeah.
just a random thing in my head.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of how I started world building is like free write it out, see where it goes.
Well, it's part
So
of the creative
cool.
process, right?
Yeah.
Was there anything happening in the world
Yeah.
at the time? I mean, obviously COVID,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So did you find that you have any of those themes caked within the story?
Well, it's funny. The end of my old story I was going to write kind of had some of those things at the end.
Okay.
And I knew writing it, I'm like, this is going to date it if it's too, like, there's a plague or there's something going on. Like,
Yeah.
so I did. That's kind of where the isolation came into play, I think. But I wanted to stay away from, like, people being in quarantine and, like, those kind of, like, themes that I knew. By the time the book came out, they're like, yeah, we all know COVID. Like, everyone did that thing. But yeah, no, I mean, COVID was happening. It was a lot of media for me. It was just absorbing films and absorbing, stories. Like, not a lot of real world things affected me at the time. Any real world stuff that affected me was just kind of like things I had in me from my relationships with people and childhood and like. But a lot of it I attached then to like stories because I feel like I have to be one of those people that like steals little tidbits here and here from actual stories because that's how I think. It's hard for me to be like, oh, that's like that memory of when I was 7. To me, that's not where the genius feels like it comes from to me. Yeah, but yeah. So it was the isolation. Honestly, it's the opposite of having world events affected. I felt like it was more about isolating from
And I
it.
ask about the world events because I read recently about how, on the topic of dystopian fiction, about how depending on where the author of the book or the play or the movie,
Yeah.
it kind of depends on where they're literally from.
Sure.
So you think about like American dystopian fiction.
Yeah.
It's about like, liberty for all, and that's like the main focus essentially, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe if the author is British, it's a little bit more focused on like, Big Brother's watching, like that whole surveillance thing, because that's it's just really interesting to see how much of where you grow up or what you know makes it into the story. And that's why I asked if there was anything that you felt was directly related to your development based off of what was going on in America at the time. I mean,
I will
guess
say
it was in the world, but-
consciously. Sure, there was subconsciously so much happening. I think consciously, all authors want to do this is try to find that universal truth. And I was trying so hard to be like, I'm absorbing this that has nothing to do with this, and that's nothing to do with this. What are links? Like, what are these stories? What are these links to these characters? Why is this character interesting? And it's like, I think from being a teacher, from being in school, like I think it could be good or bad. I was so entrenched in that journey of that like almost objective like journey of the character that I found myself trying my best to stay locked into like this world is its world. It's its own thing. I need to be here, and I'm sure everything else that already is in my brain will fill it, whether it's something I've seen in the news. But I'm not going to consciously go, let's make that allegory to what's happened in this
not
era.
pulling it through,
What's happening.
right,
Yeah, because I knew I would just lose my originality if I stayed too much in that.
I think that takes some discipline too
Yeah,
to do that,
I
to not
agree.
let it affect you necessarily. I mean, the guardrails, different kind of guardrails, obviously, but
Right.
like to have that in place or those borders, those boundaries in place to keep that out.
Yeah.
must, for me, that would take a lot of, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a skill or if it's just how I work, but yeah, I try to stick to I don't know, locking into the lines of the text. Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
I kind of just want to know, do you think that you would survive in this world that you built? If you were in Barren, would you make it?
So
And if you
I love
did,
this
for how
question.
long?
make it as in
Would you survive?
Survive, be
like
alive.
would I be alive? Yeah. I mean, it's funny if you know because I don't want to spoil too much, but it's a little complicated.
Okay, like they're aliens.
No. No. It's a little complicated with
They're
like
aliens.
They heard.
It's funny,
They're
this
not-
book
they're
asks-
not
There's no
human anymore.
aliens.
it brings up a lot of existential things about existence and all that stuff. So yeah, in theory, like maybe is what I would say. But I would say from the base,
Wait, I'm sorry. Maybe they're aliens, or maybe you would survive.
there's definitely no
No. Okay.
there's definitely no traditional aliens in this book. There are foreign entities and experiences that happen that you could say are alien in a way.
Okay.
But it's not like people have arrived or others
Okay.
have arrived. But I would say yes and no, because it is supposed to be like our world. There's not really there aren't like it's not military occupation of everything and people in bomb shelters and like it's not like
So
total
it's not
apocalypse.
like focused on like subjugation only.
No, it's very much like kind of like an epic, right? So we talked about the Odyssey. It's about the idea of someone goes on a journey. These things happen that kind of you can't explain, and they're going through an emotional, moral journey throughout the story. And it's not really about fighting bad guys, winning, dying, losing. It's like these characters will leave just so changed, and the world around them is really trying to force these really complicated questions and thoughts out of them. And that's kind of the focus of the story, is being able to go, you have a belief of what a just world looks like for you, what a fair world looks like. And again, even if they're good guys, bad guys, whatever, they have a system that they wrap around the world. And then once something happens, once they suffer and go through things, they ultimately find out there's so much more out there. And that's what it is. The book kind of opens up. It starts a little narrow, like, oh, it's a little city. Like I'm comfortable here as a reader. I feel like this is a normal sci-fi futuristic thing. And then these big things happen that you're kind of like, well, what do you do? Like even as the reader would think, like, I don't know what she should do. I don't know what you're supposed to do. And so when these decisions are made, like everything gets bigger and wider, and then the questions start becoming ones you really can't answer. And so it's kind of up to, listening to the collective voice of all these different experiences to kind of make up your own mind as a reader, like what is this experience that we're all going through? Because again, it's a community thing. I want it to at the end be like, this is an experience we are all going through.
Yeah.
So
But because this genre is not necessarily my go-to
Sure.
by any means.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super interesting, and I've had a little bit of experience with it. I think I mentioned to you there's this movie called Chappie that is about a robot that is a police robot and like follows the rules and is being like tortured and tormented and like turned to the dark side or whatever. And I couldn't get through like the first 20 minutes because of my empath self or whatever. So given everything you're talking about, I'm really curious, like what do you, and this is where the triteness comes in,
Sure.
but what do you want your reader to feel? Do you want them to feel that discomfort or that like, because somebody
what
like
are
me,
they
I'm
walking
like,
away from?
Yeah.
right, like how do they feel at the end of the book?
So
Or through the book?
the reason also why I went multiple voices is I like when everyone feels like they have that slither of the story. They're like, that's me. Or like that's how I think of things. Those are my insecurities. Those are my, and I tried to write these characters as uniquely as possible. But then the more you write, the more you're like, that's kind of that part of me. I'm realizing whether it's an arrogant or an ego thing, or you have a character that's has all your insecurities, or a character that has your wit and your humor. Like, so I felt like they were pieces of me, but I wanted them to feel like those are different people. Like there's people who feel like this and experience this, and I didn't want the voices to feel like those are all just Jonathan characters that experience Jonathan things.
right,
Of
like
course,
Jonathan.
of course, of
Of
course.
course.
And so that I think that helped a lot with. I think everyone will have their own takeaway, but I do want people to feel like they're exploring. I think that's the main thing. I want them to feel
And
like
challenged
and
a little
challenged,
in a
yeah.
bit. I'm getting, yeah.
Yeah, and I find that a lot of times in books you are given what the author wants you to have, which is fine. But I do want people to feel like they really have, reread, go back and like, okay, like now I feel different because like the perspective I've been open up to is really getting me to understand like isolated, I don't like this character. I don't like what they're doing. But now, the way they have to interact and react to this thing, that changes the way I think about what they had to do earlier. Or sometimes you're getting their childhood a little later in the story. So you're like, okay, I kind of get where they're coming from. Or people that have shame, people that have honor, like you.
Which is all of us, right?
Yeah, and you judge people so fast. So wherever I put you in the chapter, you're going to be like, oh my God, or you're going to be like, wow, that's awesome. But I want you to feel like why they feel that shame, why they feel the honor at different points in the story, almost to be like, oh, they got me. Like that, there's a reason for this. So I want people to just feel like they're digging into it and exploring it and like, dog earing parts and being like, I have a question here. I don't really like agree. Like even if there's parts where they're like, I don't agree if that's wrong. I don't like that. That even is a great reaction.
Right.
Because that's why I like to read books. So
there's no right answer, essentially.
Yeah, and I mean,
or wrong answer for that matter.
Yeah, and yes, and the ending won't, unfortunately, if people are satisfied with, boom, there it is. Okay, it came together. That's what we wanted. Like, I feel like that might not be for them.
I see.
But I do think everybody will hopefully have enjoyed the experience, even if at the end they're like, oof, that didn't answer all the questions that you were throwing at me.
And you're not done yet. You're not done the book. Or are you?
I am not done the book. I have a skeleton of the entire story, which looks about 3 books right now. But I am done book one that you would,
I don't
fully
think
be
you
able
and
to
I
grasp.
talked about that.
I don't think I realized that you
it
were
was supposed
talking
to be a
about a
trilogy.
trilogy.
It's one of those things. It's too big for one book, and
Oh, yeah.
it's in my query. You'll see like it clearly ends on like this is just the beginning kind of thing, where it's not a spoiler, but everyone kind of lands sort of at the same place at the end of the book, like the physical location, and they meet this. They all are happening at the same time, but so you're kind of like, what's going to happen? Because you kind of know where they are at this point, and all these 3 different things happen to these characters that they don't close doors, they open up questions and doors, and then it ends.
They will
So
return, perhaps.
you kind of get this sense of like, interesting. Okay, now I feel like I'm locked in. Like now I feel like I get where we're going.
Yeah.
And it takes that first book to sort of set that stage, it sounds like.
It does.
Too.
It
That's
does. And I think
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too because a lot happens in it, so it should be fun.
As you were writing,
Yeah.
did you at any point have to change, or not have to, but decide to change, whether it be language, conversation, situation, that maybe you thought, I'm uncomfortable with how this could be perceived by the reader?
That's a good question. At first, yes. I think the first thing you think of is who's going to read this? People in your family, your friends, but then I think once you get really emotionally invested and you're like really involved and, you're digging into the characters, you just stop you don't care.
You do. You're so right. And I only
like you're
ask
serving
that.
them at that
You're
point.
right. You want to tell the story based off of the character. What would this character
Right.
do
wanna do
or
right by
say?
them, yeah.
And there's certainly, and I only ask you that question because I recently wrote a chapter, and as I was writing it, not to get off topic, but
you're good.
as I was writing it, I thought, gosh, for some people who are going to read this, I do think they're going to be taken aback by it.
Oh, interesting. What do you mean by that? Taking it back, like that's offensive, or it's like a curveball for them?
Out of character, maybe.
I think that if we are talking, like you mentioned, like who's going to read this? And the first thing when you're writing something, you don't always think about the masses.
Sure.
You're thinking about the people who are most likely going to pick it up, whether it be your friends, your families, your colleagues, your whomever, right? Because these are the people in our world, right?
Yeah.
And I think that as I was writing, or I know that as I was writing it, I thought, this is going to be something for some people. And I had a moment of pause where I thought, because again, this story is not mine. It comes from my imagination.
Yeah.
But it is not of me. I did not live this particularly, but Coralina is. And, she makes a choice in this particular chapter that I think for a lot of readers, I think they're going to say, oh, Diana, but I needed to get past that because this is not Diana writing. This is Coralina living.
Right.
And
I love that.
And for me, I wanted to ask you that question because I think for a lot of writers, I have to imagine that when they're first starting off, that they have those same thoughts. They have the thoughts of how is this going to affect me personally, right? Someone else's perception of me as a writer, as a creative. But I made that decision this weekend. This is true. This is true to Coralina, and this needs to kind of,
and it is what it is.
Follow through as is.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I can't really worry about what
Because it's that separation that you're getting
Because it's that
between
separation.
you and your character.
Yeah, and I find the only time I'm really dwelling on it is if it's a social thing that I think is disrespectful to like a certain group. So whether I'm, and again, if it's in character, fine. But if it's me as the author and I'm writing a character and they're like, you don't know anything about that person. You don't know anything about that identity. Then it feels like I'm being disrespectful, as in just completely characterizing it differently. So a lot of times with like gender or things where I'm like, I'm not a woman, so just making certain assumptions as a writer. To
Yeah.
me, you have to be careful and you have to.
There's a competency that you need to
yes,
make sure
yes.
you're
And there's a
covering.
responsibility
Correct.
I think you have
Completely.
to those other circles of people, right?
Yes.
We'll
And
say
not
it
be
like
two
that.
dimensional.
Yes.
Because that's the other direction you tend to go. Is you go, I see a lot of movies where it's like, I have a female character. Okay, I'm going to make her super non-sexualized. They're going to be super cool and masculine, and they fight like really tough. And it's like, that's fine. There are people like that, but I think you start going to so two-dimensional of like, they can't have feelings. They can't cry. They can't do these things. It's like, well, everyone does that.
Yep.
So, I mean, you have to find the nuance of real experiences, but then also keep it like, yeah, there's all kind of women. There's all kind of people. So, yeah.
Yeah, good. Well, Jonathan, I am ready to read it whenever you're ready
I
to share
know,
it.
me
I
too.
mean, me too. I mean,
He goes, me too. So I'd love to read it.
it's fun. It's, you have to get out of the stress of like, I need to get that agent, I need to get the person to like
Yeah.
get it made, and stay in the part of why you love it. I think
Yeah.
that's the hardest part of writing is you start seeing that light at the end of the tunnel, and it's like, stop trying to bind the book already. It's like, you gotta like
You
just
gotta let it
have
evolve.
fun, be in it, and it'll be done when it's done. And,
I know we touched on this at one point in a previous episode about the feedback that you got
Yeah.
at the writers conference.
Yeah. Like almost like we had more of a conversation because it was.
I mean, there's only so much you can do in 10 minutes.
Because I wonder
I
sometimes.
know. It was like
It was
speed
very
dating.
quick,
I was
very-
not okay with
it wa-
it.
And I
It
wonder
was
if
speed
some
dating.
people, I wonder if they were just kind of like, oh, you checked off a couple boxes of mine, I'll throw that in the pot. But then I got good feedback from, I think it was the third agent who was talking about like, hey, this isn't the stuff I know about. This isn't really the audience I sell
Yeah,
to or whatever.
yeah.
So I would love to read it and like give feedback and whatnot. And this sounds cool. But it was very much, you could tell like immediately they were like, this is not what
Not their
I don't know that audience.
But maybe that's not a bad thing to get
Yeah.
that feedback from somebody outside of the genre, just
Yes.
in complement to, feedback from people who really are in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the feedback's the big part too, because it's like applying for a job. Like you don't know what's working. A lot of times you're just getting rejected from whatever. It's like if you're querying people. So it's nice to be like, oh, it's because they're not even getting past your query, or it's like,
Right.
oh, your query's great,
Right.
but the first chapter doesn't tell me. It's like nice to know what stop.
Right.
What
Is it
should
the
I
book
change?
or is it your process?
Right,
What's-
because then
what's-
you'll be going crazy changing everything, and you didn't need to.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's helpful.
So that was awesome, Jonathan. I love that we got a really good kind of glimpse into sort of almost like the making of, a little behind
Yeah.
the scenes, if you will. So that was awesome. Thank you. Where are
course.
you now? Like,
Yeah.
where are you at? Like, what's your next step?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's just kind of final touch-ups. While you're waiting for agents, you have so much time to keep writing, right? So I am flushing out, like, how do I make the finale of it perfect, and also leaking into the next book. So I don't want to get too far because this one's not done, but kind of tying everything up, making sure everything is set up for where I want this story to go. So it's a lot of just brushing back through and skimming things again. So.
Excellent. So that's what's happening this coming week or so.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what about you? What are your goals? What are you working on?
So the last time we met,
Yeah.
I had said that I wanted to sort of dive a little bit deeper into Ascana. You guys remember Ascana?
Yes,
Yes.
I do. Yeah,
My
I do.
Black Market Baker.
People
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, well, she's sitting tight and pretty somewhere else on a page that I haven't touched in 2 weeks because I've just
She
been
didn't
doing
want to be
looking for
seen
her. I'm
yet.
like, where?
She just
I've
didn't
been
want
far
to be seen
too
yet.
busy. I did last night. I did get some writing in, but honestly, life has been so busy, and I just
Summer.
haven't. And that's just the truth. And sometimes it's just going to be like that because
Yeah.
there's only so many hours in the day, and there's only so many really nights and weekends
Yeah.
that I get to do this. So
So when
I
you
agree.
when you do have the time in the
I'm
coming
gonna-
weeks,
I'm gonna.
what's the
next
is that
time
what is
we
that the next
chat-
step for you?
next time we chat, Askana's I'm gonna have a little bit more on her done.
Yeah.
And actually, I think by the next time we chat, I do plan on sending what I have to Sharon because she shared with us how she majored in English, and
Right.
so what
Yep.
better?
I'm a grammar
resource.
geek. I'm
Yeah.
a grammar geek. I like,
Should be a writer then.
Well, go figure.
Oh, how about that?
It worked out nicely, didn't it?
If therapy doesn't work out,
Right.
Yeah.
Don't quit your day job just yet. But no, I'm eagerly anticipating that.
So I will be.
Do you feel like you're really excited about this character and that's why you're diving into her right now? Because sometimes, no matter where I'm in the chapter, if I'll latch onto a character, I'll just go into this deep dive of like writing out like a day in her life or writing out like another side story, her child, and like that way I'm just like, all right, now we're in it. Like, do you find that's how you dive into that?
No.
Okay.
Frankly, when I introduced Askana, I was in one mindset, and then the last 2 weeks I've been in another.
Yeah. I get that.
I think I actually do want to mention a little bit more about that in another episode. I'm not ready to dive in with what I'm talking about specifically. Story for another day. But no, I can like ping pong.
Yeah.
Pretty well. Usually, I don't need to like live in her space for too long. I actually think that sometimes when I do that, I get too lost in the sauce with one
interesting.
character, and then I'm not giving enough TLC to the rest that really need to be developed a little bit further in order for the story to progress. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
oh, no, that's fair.
totally.
Yeah, and also just like time. Like, I mean, obviously we're not working specifically at a company that's like deadline, but I mean, you do want it to get done at some point. So I get the whole. At some point, you gotta stop diving deep and just write the story.
I know.
So
You're
I
right.
agree with
You're
you.
right.
I get that.
Yep. Sharon.
Yes.
What's going on in your writing world?
Well, I did say I was going to interact on Substack more, and I did do that, which was good. I'm realizing, you're our little in-house, you're our big in-house marketing presence. I'm realizing after conversations we had that I've been so afraid of social media and just because it's not necessarily like sitting well with me, but I do realize that like for me and for what I'm doing and because I have all these branches of the tree happening, I think it is that necessary evil, but I also feel like it could be done in a way after conversations with you, which has been so helpful, that it can be done in a way that is not so gut-wrenching for me.
Yes.
And so that is really what I'm diving into, I think, this week is sort of creating that sort of framework for content. Maybe not all the content just yet, but like starting to really kind of map that out a little bit, which is I'm excited for, which is crazy for me to say because that is not, I would never put those two things in the same sentence. Me, being excited about social media.
You got more work than us. I'm impressed because it feels like, all right, let me make a whole
ongoing.
nother project.
I have, there's stuff I'm even missing with that. Like I have my Substack that I'm writing, obviously. So it's like all of these things are all going into the same well.
Yeah.
But it's just, okay, but if nobody knows it's there.
Yeah. What are we doing?
What am I doing? You know, so this is the part that I've always shied away from, and I feel like I have a little like pep in my step to get it done. So
that's good.
Thanks for that. But I'm excited.
I feel like this podcast in general kind of makes us do things, which is nice.
Yeah.
It really has. It really has.
Yeah.
Comfort zones are being tested.
Totally.
Totally.
It's good.
Yeah.
I think it's important for growth.
I love it. I love it.
Anyway, next time we chat, we'll have more to say about each of our writings and each of our journeys.
That sounds great.
I think that's it.
I think that's the wrap on this
wrapping it
one.
up.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Okay. All right. Bye.
See you guys.
Thanks for joining us.